My boyfriend erased the whiteboard I had my novel timeline on 3 years. I've been working on a novel for about a year. I write every day, even just a sentence. 6 months ago, my college switched to smartboards and put all their whiteboards in the garbage. I grabbed 2 because I have huge wall space in my living room. Most of the writing is done on my Google Drive, but I have things like characters, personalities, names, places, and a general timeline, etc. Stuff I want to remember. I used to take photos of it, so I had my ideas with me. I used to write on my lunch break. I stopped doing that because I'd burned myself out and my writing quality takes a huge dive. Plus, my boyfriend helps me write and it helps us connect in such a deep way. So I haven't taken a photo in about 3 months. The whiteboards are nice because I can read my notes across the room while I'm sitting in my favorite chair. I got home last night and all my stuff was erased. It was all train of thought. Like I'd come home and jot something down. Handwriting is way more cathartic for me. Me too. I had sketches of things in the novel. I'd basically have to go through and remember every single thing on it. I have a lot of it stored in my head or in my Google Drive, but there are things I'll never get back. But it's the fact that he erased it. We don't live together. That's weird. He told me I've been focusing too much on it and have no time for him. Jealousy? Get a hobby, sir? We hang out at my house 5 to 6 nights a week. I write while he plays video games. You have enough time for video games, but not to hang out with your girlfriend and give her one-on-one attention. Okay. It's a good dynamic and I thought we enjoyed it. We're always laughing and he helps me with my wording and I Google stuff to help him in his game, so it's cute. This is the first time he's mentioned it bothering him. If he had brought it up, we could have talked about it. He went nuclear and I have no idea why. Because he's a selfish, immature man baby who wasn't getting enough attention from his mommy? Okay. I don't know what to do. I'm so frustrated. We have had one serious argument over his driving. He got better. My family took him on vacation a few weeks ago. Yeesh. We watch his nephew all the time, so you guys are very entrenched in each other's lives. His family paid for my entire spring semester. That's a lot. That means something. We are so much a part of each other's lives, and I feel so hurt and heartbroken. He's my muse, and just the other day we went to the jewelry store to look at rings. I don't know if you should keep doing that. My feelings rotate between rage, sadness, confusion, sorrow, anger, everything. How do I even approach this? Last night I was so upset I asked him to leave. He hasn't texted. He hasn't called. Man, baby. He hasn't stopped by. I keep typing in questions to ask, but I keep erasing them. Why did you do it? Are you unhappy with our relationship? What did I do? I'm even more heartbroken due to the fact he hasn't called or texted all day. I'm afraid to call him. I don't want to hear him say he thinks we should break up. Why not? Or he doesn't want to be with me when I'm writing. Well, that might be good. Or he could just ignore my call. TLDR, boyfriend erased the whiteboard I use for my novel writing. He hasn't contacted me at all since it happened. I'm totally lost and heartbroken and angry. How do I possibly handle this? And top comments. Holy crap. As a fellow writer, I'd be livid if I were you. I would too. I have notes and notes and notes of stuff in my phone, on Post-its and notebooks. If somebody threw that stuff away, I'd be very pissed off. This is the first time he's mentioned it bothering him, quote unquote. If this is true and he jumps straight to sabotage, this is up. It is. It's messed up regardless because I'm sure your boyfriend knows how important this work is to you. Like, for him to not try to talk to you about this after 3 years is mind-boggling. Who does this? Text him the dreaded, we need to talk, the ominous we need to talk message. Ask him when he's available and have him come over to use his words like a goddamn adult. Also, take his key away or change your locks if you don't want to be that upfront about it. He lost his privileges, absolutely. To be honest, though, in all sincerity, I don't know if this is something I could move past. It comes off as so cruel. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he chose to go into your home when you weren't there because he knew he was doing something wrong. That's right. If he knew he was doing the right thing or felt like he had a justifiable reason to destroy your work, he would have done it right in front of your face. Straight up to my face! He either knows he fucked up, or he feels as though he's in the right, and that's why he hasn't reached out to you. I'm shocked and appalled on your behalf. Here's the update. 3 months later. It's been about 3 months since I made the post. This somehow seems like it got really long. The night I made the post, I went to a friend's house and she ordered a pizza. We got ice cream and a bottle of wine. She's a straight shooter, takes a neutral approach, and she gives solid relationship advice, so I felt comfortable talking to her about everything. She couldn't find out why he'd done it. We went over how he and I hung out, how much he seems to care about me. We looked into each other's eyes, but it also revealed a lot of hesitation on my part. I'm a positive person and tend to forgive faults or overlook them. Maybe that's why he did it, because he knew you would eventually overlook it. He knew he could get away with it. I suspect it's some sort of coping method from my childhood. We had some unresolved issues I think he was holding in, but when I'd bring them up, he'd just get kind of salty and go, "It's fine, I don't care anymore." Like a mature man. Not like a man baby at all. But he'd bring them up in arguments. So when you try to talk to him like an adult about issues you're having in a relationship, he'll go, "Oh, it's fine, I don't care anymore," and walk away. But then he'd throw those things in your face when he's upset in an argument. So again, not a mature person, can't handle adult conversations about tough topics, and acts like a man baby when he doesn't get his way. It sounds like you've been wasting your time. But anyway, I didn't realize how toxic it was. It was very toxic. That same night, I told him I was coming over the next day to talk about things. I told him I'd be over around 11, and the only thing he texted me was okay, which I didn't respond to. I went over to his house at 11. I don't know if this is 11 a.m. or p.m., maybe p.m., because it says he was still asleep, so maybe 11 a.m. He got upset when I woke him up, even though she told you when she was coming over. It took the wind out of my sails. On a good day, I cry if something upsets me. But I was so angry and heartbroken, I couldn't even think. I left without saying a word to him. He didn't follow me. On my way out, I went to the kitchen and took my house key from his key ring. Good. I drove home in a daze, collected all his things, put them in a box on my porch, and texted him to come get them. He said, quote unquote, "What the hell? That's fine. I'll come by later and pick them up." I went out with a few girlfriends. We got day drunk. That's right. And had some amazing food. It made me feel better, but when I got home and his things were gone, I was heartbroken. No need for that. I never texted him. He never texted me. I got absolutely no closure, and even though people say closure is bullshit, when you're young, it's hard to not get closure. As you get older, you don't need it. I've had the hardest time moving on. It's been 3 months, and I still cry in the shower sometimes. Even though I broke up with him, I still feel so confused and heartbroken. I never figured out why he did what he did. I likely never will, and I miss him, and I miss his help and companionship. I'd love to come here and say I finished my book, but I haven't written much since. That happened to me too. When I went through a difficult emotional time, my creativity just flew out of my brain, and I couldn't think of anything to save my life. It's the first time I've genuinely had writer's block. I can't get into my characters' heads anymore. Yep, there's a feeling of loneliness and grief, and that's sort of helped me create a better outline. But I can't write about my characters. The other day, I went to the bookstore to study. I ended up looking at books related to time travel and found one that has thousands of positive reviews. My novel is science fiction, and I've been trying to think of how to incorporate time travel, so it kind of lined up perfectly. That's nice. That's nice when things line up like that, and the energy pushes you in a different direction. Call it a tower moment in tarot. And towers are not always bad. They push you in the right direction. Sometimes. It turns out a lot of my ideas mirror theoretical physics. It's eerie. I've never taken physics or read about it. Suddenly, string theory makes sense. Cosmology makes sense. I'm blown away. It makes me feel so weird that so much of my plot has been studied so in depth. The book has lit a fire under me. Reading more about everything makes me so excited, and it's helped me really flesh out my plot. I can't put it down and read 20 or so pages a night. I haven't actually made time to sit and read a book for years. I always have a notebook with me now, so I write my ideas down. I haven't written about my characters yet, but my passion is back. That's so refreshing when you finally get your creativity and your mojo and your motivation to sit down and actually work on the project back when you lost it. It's very encouraging. My plot is making more sense. Now I don't care much about how we broke up. I'm not confused. I sometimes get sad at night or during the day, or if I go out and make prolonged eye contact with a guy. I haven't thought about dating, and I'm still too hurt to pursue it. But every day I move on a little bit more. I wanted to thank everyone who gave me advice. I forgot about my post until just now. And when I went back to read through it, it made me realize how seriously messed up it was. It gave me closure. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. He's an idiot. He was an immature man baby. He's probably been an immature man baby the entire 3 years you were together, and you just looked past it because the good times were good, even if the bad times were bad. You told him when you were coming over, he said okay, and when you came over at that time and woke him up, he had an attitude. So he was still an immature man baby. Honestly, if this happened in the States and this were me, I would be super effing petty, and I would take his ass to small claims court, and I would charge him for the amount of time I put into that whiteboard, because time is money. And that was work that he destroyed. Even though it was just intellectual property, that's still property, and there is an amount of damages that you can get for that. The time and the creativity and the effort you put into, and you don't have backups of everything that he erased. Like, I would go scorched earth and be like, all right, you want to with my life? You're going to have to pay for it. A judge may or may not agree with me, but, writing is work, and he destroyed your work, so I think that there should be compensation for that. Emotionally, though, don't be with immature people, because you don't know when their immaturity is going to come out. If somebody doesn't want to have a rational, reasonable, mature conversation with you about necessary things, particularly dealing with your relationship, and just wants to bring that up in a fight and throw it around when everybody's upset, when everybody's heated, and when you're just yelling at each other about something, just go. Just go away. Let them go to therapy or not go to therapy, and be around people who can communicate like an adult. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad that she moved on and got her mojo back.